Hello, in this video we're going to go through a demonstration of Inventory Monitor's dynamic search integration features, and we're going to try to keep this under 10 minutes. The dynamic search features within the Inventory Monitor fall in three different buckets, which I've listed here. First, there are the ad group status updates, which is turning ad groups on and off based on what is in inventory each day and what is changing. The second feature is Ad Customizers, which allows you to dynamically insert the count and minimum price into ads. So you can have ads like we have 5 F-150s starting at $20,000. The third component is the campaign builder, which allows campaign managers to rapidly build out campaign structure that's based on a make, model, trim library that we maintain for our clients. And it's the campaign builder, which is where I'm going to actually start. So let me move over to the Inventory Monitor interface. I am logged into my Auto Agency demo account, and I'm going to start with the campaign builder, which is the first step. You need to build out your campaign structure. So let me move down there, and I'm just going to take a look into an existing template that I've already got created here. So let me go in and edit that, and I'll quickly run through each section within here. So these templates are going to allow you to use variables for make, model, trim, and year to build out essentially the base structure that then is going to iterate through that library, make, model, trim, and build out all your campaigns, ad groups, keywords, etc. So we've got our template information, just basic information about the template, location, account ID is associated with, ability to put in a make filter. So if we were doing a new vehicle campaign, then certainly this dealer would probably want to filter for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams, because those would be the only makes would have in new. We've got a year range in here for their used vehicles that we want to iterate through. And then when we move down to the campaign naming and ad group naming, the way you name the campaigns and ad groups tells the system how it needs to segment that structure. And essentially it's as simple as when you add a variable for make, model, trim, or year. So I'm going to add a variable for make here, which you just, by putting it in square brackets, that tells the system now segment and create a separate campaign for every make that we have in the library, which would result in about 40 different campaigns. But since I didn't put a variable in the campaign name, it's just going to make one campaign with the name I put in here, dynamic used. I did all my segmentation down at the ad group level, and you can see I've got the variables for both make and model in here. So it's going to segment and create a separate ad group for every make model combination that we have in the library. And of course, you could take this further if you'd want. If you wanted to segment also by year, you just put in the variable for year, and now it's going to segment out every make, model, year combination. So every make, model, and then the year running between 2012 to 2016. I'm just going to go ahead and leave mine with just the make, model. Quickly show you the ads templates, again using the same make, model, trim variables in there, and including the important final URL to build out those for the appropriate search result filtered page that we want to land on. I got 2 ads in here. You can have unlimited ads, as many as you'd like. Here's the keywords, ad extensions, and that should give you a basic idea what a template looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and submit, leave this the way it was when I first got in, and then show you how you can use this now to download from the template. And what this is downloading, is a bulk sheet that's ready to and formatted to go into AdWords Editor. So I just downloaded that, and I'm going to open up in AdWords Editor my demo dealer account and import from file. And I think, yeah, this is the one I'm doing on the 19th. So let's import that. And so it's not just building out the one ad group with make, model as the name. It's building out an ad group for every single make, model combination we have in the library, resulting in something that looks like this. So again, it had the one dynamic use campaign, since I did not put any variables to segment by in there. But now you can see at the ad group level, it has segmented for every make, model combination in the library. And then if we go down to, say, the Ford F-150 ad group, we can take a look at our keywords. And that has built those out with the Ford and F-150 make and model name, as well as iterating through that year range that we put in there. And if we take a look at ads, F-150 in stock, and the final URL is formatted for a Ford 150. So if they did have this in inventory, it should land on the right page. I'm not sure if they do have it in inventory, but they do not, which would cause our system to, of course, pause that ad group. So that's the basics of the campaign builder. Once the campaign structure is created, then users can go to the main inventory monitor section and request the setup of the dynamic campaign. And that is as simple as clicking this Add Account button, providing basic dealer information, selecting the AdWords search integration feature. Of course, we will need the AdWords customer ID so we know which account to connect to. The campaign inclusion method is how you can specify to the system what campaigns the system should update and which ones it should leave alone. And then you can also select the Ad Customizers feature to have that count and minimum price option added to ads as well. And then once the user fills this out and clicks Submit, they are essentially done with the integration setup process for the status updates. It takes about 30 seconds. It goes into support. If that request is received before noon, we promise a same-day turnaround time. And when you do get the response back that same day from support saying their account is set up and the dynamic search campaigns have been updated, you can immediately come back to the interface and see the reporting on what is done. So I'm going to use this Crown Nissan account as an example. We can see the reporting of the ad groups that are on and off and what's been changed since yesterday here, but let's go ahead and dive into the detail report. And we can see that yes, 6 status changes occurred since yesterday. So these are the changes they've had in inventory. Clearly they sold their last Chevrolet Cobalt because that's been moved from enabled to paused. Just go ahead and confirm that by clicking on the link. And yes, it does go to a no results found page, where the Acadia Limited went from paused to enabled, so they likely brought their first one back in to inventory yesterday. And yes, that does go to a good search results page with that vehicle. So it's very important to point out how we are able to respond so quickly and have a same-day turnaround time to dynamic search integration requests. And the primary reason that we're able to do this so quickly is that we do not require a data feed. So the entire process you might be used to right now of contacting the dealership or their inventory management system vendor, or most often HomeNet, to request an inventory data feed and then configure that, get the approval from the dealership. That whole process is gone now. We don't need data feeds anymore, because we use a completely different method to do this, and it's easiest to understand that method if we actually go into the AdWords interface. And I'm going to show you how a human could do the same thing that our system does automatically. So I'm again in that Crown Nissan demo account, and I'm just going to move over to the Ads tab. And as a user, I could come in here and click on every single ad in every single dynamic campaign. So I'd first click on this Mercedes R-Class. It goes to a no results found page, therefore I know they don't have it in inventory, and I would pause that ad group. I'd move on to the Mercedes S-Class. That gets to a good search results page showing Mercedes S-Class vehicles, therefore we know they do have that in inventory, and we would turn the ad group on. That is the exact same process the inventory monitor system performs on a nightly basis, where it will, on the campaigns that you specify, pull down every single ad and programmatically click on them and check the landing page experience. If it's a good landing page experience showing vehicles that are in that search results page, then it's going to enable those. And if it goes to a no results page, like these over here, it will automatically pause those. It will also be checking for any sort of error response, like a 404 or a 500 error response back from the website. This often occurs if a typo was made in the final URL, or more often than that, when the dealership changes their website platform, forgets to tell their agency, and now you'll see you've got a large number of error responses where all the final URLs are going to 404 error pages, or possibly redirecting to another page. So that covers the status updates, the final section of the dynamic search in here is the dynamic or the ad customizers, allowing you to dynamically update the ads with the count of vehicles and the minimum price. So you can see that reporting over here in the activated ad group section. The setup of this is also extremely simple. You would be using our AdWords ad customizer feed, and we provide the feed links over here in the inventory feeds tab. And all the campaign manager needs to do is come down to the shared library, go to business data, and you'd create a new ad customizer business data feed here. And that simply requires you to give it a name, essentially. Once you have created that with a name, I'm just going to go into one I've already created before. You come in here and you wouldn't, of course, see the data yet, but it will give you an option to schedule uploads, and then you'll have an interface that looks just like this, and you would define the frequency that you want AdWords to fetch the new updated data. I selected every 12 hours, and the source. And the source is our feed link. So you'd simply copy the feed link, paste it in here, save, and you can either wait for it to automatically update in the next 12 hours or update it now. But after that, your work is done, and then you would automatically see the data in here. And then when you look back up to ads, so I'll go to it, looked like there was a Nissan Armada in there. So let's go back to that. And ads for Nissan Armada. And we could edit either one of these. And if I start off with the little squiggly bracket, you can see that then we have equals, and here is the feed that I had set up, vehicles dot, and I'm going to use count in stock. And it did replace that with a 1. They have 1 of those in stock today. So that's how you use your ad customizers. And that concludes the 3 separate features within our dynamic search capabilities: the campaign builder for building out structure, the AdWords status updates based on what's going in and out of inventory each day, like the 6 changes that were made in Crown Nissan, and then the ad customizers, as you can see in here, for inserting the count and minimum price into ads.